Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the SIFAS Ending Journal. And today we're gonna take a look at another type of event, in this case DLP or Dreamlight Parade. So, what is DLP? In a nutshell, it's a bit of a tower clearing mode. So let me show you, and I'll show you actually with this one. There have been several of these released. This is the first one, which we call Initial Tower or even Trial Tower. Doesn't really have an appropriate name. It has, well, this one had 50 stages, as you can see here. Progress 50, I have already done them. But to show from the beginning, I can't exactly show right now. This is a unique mode in which you need to try and optimize and use most of the cards in the game that you are able. Because, if you see the rules here, it says you play and you get medals. Every time that you play, you are gonna get score if you don't fully complete the score requirements for the song, or if you die, your progress gets saved. Additionally, well, okay, whatever. It doesn't say here, but you have a limited uses on your girls, so I guess I'll show better next time. But also, as you can see, the songs start out like kind of easy, and then they start requiring more and more score. So we went from 1 million to 2, 3, here 4, and it goes like that. Though I will say that these ones were a bit ridiculous, they ask a lot. Teddy was the first ending of this, I think, yeah. So 24 million, and these were already expert ones. Then it soft resets here. The problem is that I personally found this event kind of interesting initially, and again I'll show you later, because it forced you to use different cards. You know, cards that maybe you will never use, like some SRs or even the Rs, because you needed everything to make some progress. The problem is that they ramped up the score requirements and also the damage per note that each song did considerably. So by the final stages, it was already pretty garbage, because you took so much damage that if you didn't have like a top healer card that was refreshed, you wouldn't even get too much progress. And also sometimes they would just pair songs that had really hard gimmicks. Well, I don't know if I can think of any of these right now, but I don't know, at some point in the ladder maybe you had already used some of your girls, and then they asked you for a song where you had to do an SP of over 200,000, and if you had bad cards at that point, then you would not be able to do it easily. Okay, I guess I've just talked about how it was, but so this is the like base tower. Interestingly enough, there was a trial tower before this one, which was this exact same one, I think only up until stage 30, because the additional stages were added afterwards until 50. But the thing is, that one got to reset, so you could get more coins, because if I show here, you get gems, well, we can see it here, but it's gems and coins for just playing them. So there was a trial tower, I think it was maybe 2 times, and this comes in the middle of a month. And then they reset that and they released this one, which is the normal one. And I don't remember if they reset that one as well, but well, it was this. Then later on we got the Acorns, Nijakazaki and Muse Towers. They don't necessarily feature only their songs, but the amount of times that you can use a girl before it is depleted, they got a boost for the school. So in the Acorns Tower you would be able to use every member 2 times before it ran out. And I'll explain that in a little bit as well. And then I don't remember this one when it came. I guess it was an additional one that they added. Yeah, just this one they added a few months ago, and most people had already been done with it. Well, at least I was. I had been done with this for months, if not years. Well, at least a year at this point. And they added this one a bit recently. I will admit it was a bit annoying to do, but I ended up doing it anyways because of the rewards. And then additionally, after a certain point, because first we only had the permanent towers, we call this permanent, we got temporary towers. So for example, this one, limited time only, skill types on stage, they would usually be like this, like a type of card or a school or a year. And these ones are smaller. They are 20 stages long. We get the same tutorial here. Here's what I was saying. You can only use a member a limited amount of times. So they have this PP, which is play. I don't know what the PA stands for, but it's like play count or something. So for example, here the Nijigasaki ones, from 2 it went to 1, whereas a miss one went from 1 to 0. So you could only use it one time, but if it was Nijigasaki, it was boosted. In this case, I think the skill ones are the boosted ones for this specific one. And these limited towers are, or tended to be, easier. So 140k, you can see that it only starts getting to 1 million here on stage 10. And some of the, well, it depends on what songs they pick, because sometimes they put some harder songs. But overall, it's not that bad, and these ones have fixed that whole issue of getting too much damage. So these ones are actually really easy to do. And I think the idea with these ones was to let players actually be able to clear them rather than the permanent ones. Granted, because those were permanent and they would come back every month, you had more chances to keep chewing at them, I suppose. Whereas these ones that are limited, you only had the little period in the middle of the month to play them. Now this is something, this is weird. They added rankings just the previous month, so this would be the second one. From the looks of it, it's either the last one or the second to last. So it's just weird to me that they added a new feature just so close to closure. It makes no sense to me. But anyway, let me show you an example of how it works. So we have the first one, as I said, you get parade coins and stars. You do get stars for every stage that you clear, and there are certain stage milestones that give you stars. Roughly every limited parade gives you about 150 stars, I think, which is not bad. The permanent towers gave a bit more, but of course those ones are once and then they're over. Whereas, well, you know, every month you got a new limited parade. But they were easy to do. Okay, I guess I'll check out this exchange first before we actually do the thing. So you had two types of exchanges. There's the permanent one and there's the one that resets. The permanent one had accessories, some of which were exclusive to this, and I'll show them in a little bit. They had up to 3 high mems for every member, which is weird that it's only up to 3 and this isn't renewable. So of course I bought some, but not many, and that's it. These are like the limited rewards. And then it's the ones that renew every month, so you had scouting tickets 10, some candy, manuals, seats, some brilliance like 5 only, some skip tickets, light bulbs, these useless things that don't serve for anything. And interestingly enough, pearls for training, though I would never really advise to buy this because getting accessories is just so easy. Also stickers for experience, but you get those by default, and memory keys, I guess. The problem with this is that they never added enough rewards for you to go in, so I never missed any opportunity to get the Dream Play Parade coins. And look at how many I have, 75,000. There aren't enough items for me to want to buy. Now let me talk about those accessories. So there were 3 exclusive ones. You had, oh, I can't see them right here, but this is a bracelet. No, this is a bangle. This is a choker. And this is a belt. What they did is, okay, so here we are. So this is the bangle. What it says here is gain more base critical power the higher your remaining stamina is. So basically this increases the critical power, so the amount of score that you can get when you get a crit. It's mainly used on expert songs where the voltage cap is 250,000. So if you crit, you likely, well, if you have good build cards, you can crit for more. It's used there. Like for here, for example, this would have been a setup for an expert song, and I have it there. Next is the belt, I guess. The belt increases SP skill voltage gain by 5% of own technique. In a nutshell, what this means is you would usually equip this inside strategies, like in this one, for example, and that would give me, based on the technique amount that the strategy has, it would add more voltage to the SP skill pop. Again, it's mainly useful on expert songs where the SP skill cap is 500,000. So if your cards alone couldn't get to that score, which is normal, this could help getting closer to that number. Not that useful on regular advanced songs, only if your team wasn't strong enough. That's where you would use it. But if it was really strong, that you would by default reach the 250,000 SP skill cap, then you didn't need to use it. Still, I like to use at least one just in case. Finally, the choker is one of the most important ones. It says increases the limit of base voltage gain by appeal by 10%. Basically, this is a cap breaking thing. It's the first type of cap breaking that existed before cards with that skill came. Interestingly enough, the first one that released was only this Smile attribute version. And back then, when the cap was 50,000, if you fully max LB it would give you an additional 5,000. So your max tab wouldn't be 50,000, it would be 55,000. However, what some people did is that they would split in just having an LB3 and an LB1, I think, or whatever it was, because of the skills that it could get. I mean, if you don't LB it, the max skill that you can get it to is skill 15 level. And so I think with the right combination you could get up to 57.5 thousand cap, but that would require that you would equip, let's assume that this is the LB3 one, ping one, and this is the LB1 or whatever it was. You had to split them like that. Me personally, I actually went straight up for the maxing. It's because initially only one of these accessories existed. Only one choker, one belt, and one bangle. Eventually they did add 2 chokers and then the third one, and same for belts. But bangle, they only ever released 2. So they never released the third one. I guess maybe they didn't want it to be that broken. So for expert songs, you use a keychain instead to increase your voltage. But well, that's a different thing. That's just wanted to mention that because it's part of DLP. Okay, so back here on the DLP stage, I guess we can check these. So reward list again, I showed this. I guess I'll show for the ranking, even though we'll go over this. This just debuted the previous month, and look at this. They actually give a free LB for almost anyone. So an LB is 125, sorry, of Green Radiance, and they give that to top 2000. I think I always score top 2000. Maybe I'll show it when I can. But it's pretty generous. Like even 50,000. Like look at this. There's not even this many people playing in the server. Exchange, we already showcased that. Restore PP, so this is an interesting thing. There's also parade formation. Now, there's a curious thing with this, which is that this is a separate team selection from the main one. And when DLP first released, a snapshot was made of whatever your team formations were at the time. So this is kind of like a time capsule. I don't know exactly how far back it went, but look at my teams. Like these are teams that I had at that time. Most of these have been deprecated or straight up I don't use any similar to this anymore. But I think it's interesting to see like this little time capsule. It can show the names that I had for my teams and what they were. I didn't actually use all of these. I will show in a different video my actual team formations. But as I said, it's like a time capsule, and you could have different teams that you could use for DLP, but I only really use just one. And it would be fitted for each situation. So we have the first stage, which is Boku Hika, which is actually an annoying one because it has damage, no, not damage, but voltage decrease. But here's the funny part about DLP. You can hit recommend information. And I never get why recommend information takes so long. And it will try to suggest you a theme for the actual song. So if we check out this song, you can see that of course the voltage goal is only 140,000. Even if you have cards that can score that, I think they don't decrease the actual goals for the ACs. That stays the same. But given that we only need some little score, you can just do that. Okay, so in this case, I think these are like my weakest cards overall, though I don't know why it has some of these use. The Lances, I guess they are there because I never even invested in that one board, and I never will, because that card sucks. But they just give you what they seem appropriate, and usually it's right, at least for these earlier stages. And also just so that I clicked autoplay, and the thing is, that's the thing with DLP. Unless you're talking about the main parades, it is just so easy, or it's trivialized, at least these limited towers. You can just literally hit autoplay, auto formation, and just spend 40 minutes while you play through all the stages, and you will win. I guarantee you. I mean, you need to have a semi-strong account. But look at this. Not even done with the first AC, and I'm already done. I have the score. So we do need to wait for it to end. There's an alternative if we die. As I said, this tracks your voltage, and even if you get more than the amount required, it won't matter. The only thing that it cares for is that you get to the amount that it asked you, which in this case was only 140,000 points. If I had, for some reason, only scored 7,000 and then died, it would give me a prompt to quit. Now granted, if I choose to quit from here, it would take me back and my idol's PP would not be consumed. However, if I leave the regular way, or if you let the song end, it will be consumed, and whatever progress you did, that will be saved. Okay? So when you have those really hard songs where you know that you can't actually make them with a single run, and especially when they start ramping up the score a lot, like, and yeah, okay, they never even raised the cap here. So for example, here I just failed. I'm gonna click end show here. It's gonna say failed, yeah, but in reality, I did succeed, because I got the 140,000 points. It consumes the PP, as you can see. The SK ones had 3 PP, while everyone else had 1, just 1. Damn it. And that's how it works. You get some medals, you get some star gems. I think these go onto your item box, so you need to claim them later in the presents. And just like that. Now Restore PP has been re-enabled. What this does is that you can use water bottles, stars, or a free team restoration, which is only 1 day. Oh, interesting. So how does this work? There is this item called water bottles that you get from specific missions that enable during DLP. If you use them, it consumes 1, and it will restore a card in a specific tower. So this is the team limited tower, right? For the maximum amount of PP that it is required. So for example, this one has 2 out of 3 left. However, if I consumed all 3 and then I restored it, it would restore all 3. But I can only do that up to 3 times. So realistically, I could use this one up to 9 times. Yeah, by restoring with bottles or with stars. Not recommended to use stars. I mean, it said it, but it was always like, don't do it. Why? Because the parades almost always come back. Like, it took a while for them to introduce the limited towers. There was a lot of time where we just had the recurrent ones coming back, and people would just chew more progress at them with time. Additionally, there's this, so they would provide a free team restorations for anything. So usually what I would do, especially on the past hours, is that I would do everything, or until what I could, you know, on the harder towers. I would probably consume, if not all of my cards, at least all of the good ones. And once I reach that point, I would just wait for this free team restoration to be enabled, and I would be able to completely refill everyone at once. That's what they give you. They made it so that you can do it twice now, as of last month. So it's gonna be able for, you could only do it for 2 months or 3 maybe. Or times, I guess. But usually it was just 1 time after like 3 or 4 days of the current period had elapsed. But that's how it works. And then you just have to keep going at it. So I guess I'll do that. I'll also show you here that there, as I said, there are specific event goals So for just clearing one stage on DLP you get 1 water bottle, for clearing 5 you get 3, and also for doing a team restoration, the one that I showed you that was on cooldown, you get 10 3 stars. It's really easy honestly, but unless you couldn't actually clear this, but the limited ones help that. Now the thing is you only really would need those water bottles for the hard parades, and only if you really wanted to rush them. So look at this, I have 144, and I did use a few recently when that newer All-Star Tower released, because at one point it was really annoying and I just used some bottles. Like, look at this, the game is ending and I still have so many. I never even had the chance to use this many. But oh well, that was TLP. So, well, it's not everything. So, as I just showed you, just auto team, auto formation, auto play, it pretty much clears them. So that's what I usually always do. I will do that. Well, I guess sometimes there's some songs, like if there's songs that damage you a lot, even if they're put in the easy version. Like for example, does this one have damage? Yes, this one has 10,000 notes of damage. Well, notes of 10,000 damage, sorry. And I don't know how many it has. So if you do auto formation only, there's a possibility that you may die if the team that I give you is really weak. So sometimes you just need to check, but if it's just HP that you need, then just put an HP stick and you leap. And you only need 300,000 score, so it's not that bad. But okay, that was a gist of DLP for the most part. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get here to the ranking one, which, as I said, we only had once before. I'll show you how that is. Alright, it's been a few days, but I did most of the other stages. I am now missing just this one, which is Mythic Horizons. We check the... okay, 30,000. Is this the I think this is the expert, so it is not rare for them to include some expert. And even there was some times that they even did challenge ones. I guess something that I didn't mention is that we don't only have these ones. Sometimes there were exclusive event parades, mainly like anniversary event or something like that. They were again temporary. Sometimes they would reward coins, like I think the one we had recently for the 3.5 anniversary, it gave regular coins, like these ones, parade medals. Whereas some other ones in the past gave their own currency and allowed you to buy exclusive items from an exclusive exchange, but not all of them. So I'm just missing this one, so I'm just gonna do it again, especially when you get to some of these expert songs. Granted, the team suggestions are going to be a bit better. Like as you can see, the previous team that it recommended me was like only URs, and these ones are fully L-beat ones. So they're giving me the same again. I'm just gonna go with it and I'm gonna complete it. So, okay. Oh, also, yeah, they ask you this, like, oh, you don't have enough stamina. First, I'm noting those numbers are unrealistic. Like, I don't really think you can really reach this unless you stack HP sticks. But besides that, they always say that, and the numbers are unrealistic. And you especially get that message a lot on the main towers, the ones with 50 stages. You'll never get that, and as I said, in the trial tower it's really bad because they scale so much the HP. But meh. So these are expert, but because they're expert, you know, the cap is 250k for the Boltons. If you have strong cards doing it, they will get a lot of score even if they don't win the ACs. And I think, well, no, not always, but they don't reduce the damage all the time. So I don't know how much damage I'm gonna take here, but this is 30,000 damage and I'm gonna die here. As you can see, if I wanted, I could optimize that strategy and just make it better. Or if you are just lazy, you can just send anything until you win. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, so took me 4 tries, I already won. I'm just waiting to die here. And we can quit. Thank you very much. By the way, the button, even if it doesn't appear, is always here on the top side of the screen, so you can tap or click on there and it will register. Or as I said, if you actually lost and you wanted to like retry with trying to optimize the cards that you had, you could just pause on the top right and quit. But right now I don't care because I just won, so I get my things for the stage. I get my achievement rewards from stage 20. As I told you, there are certain stages that have this. And now that would have been the end for most of the times, but as I said, last month in April they added this new ranking thing, and this is May, it's the second one, and they just announced that there's gonna be one final one in June. And in fact they announced today when I'm recording this that pretty much June is just 3 SBLs and a DLP, and that's it. So as I said, this would have been it by it. You gain what? Like, is this 5 coin? 5. So is that 100 gems? Right, 100, and then from the rewards you get 130 is what you can get per limited parade. As I said, you could get way more on the other ones. I don't remember how much it is, and I got them ages ago. They go to your present box, so you claim them from there. Now, for the ranking. So you first need to win to get them. And if I check here, probably gonna see the rankings as they are. So this is the one right now. My friends, whatever. Of course, I don't have my own yet. There is no ranking for me. So this is as I said. If you do not earn enough voltage to reach the target voltage, you will fail. If you fail the live show, you will not be able to keep the voltage you earned. So they work differently, as in you don't clear them. Sorry, you don't reach the requirement, you lose, but some of them are not that easy. Like, look at this. These are really easy songs. Whereas here, if I scored 5 million, or like 2.5 million, that I roughly did, as you saw in the recording, it saved my score. But here you need to win the S rank in order to actually qualify. That's pretty much it. You can see the information here of the song. They should be the regular advanced maps, I guess, so you can build around that. So this one doesn't really have anything weird, it's just colorful boys. And there's space appeal for non-cool stuff. So okay, so I'm gonna build something for this. Oh, additionally, it has now been the period for this, so if I click here, and it's probably better because you'll get everything back, you'll see everything that you're restoring. And yes, I don't care about the SRs, of course, so I get these. Wait, free one? What? Thought it was another one, or whatever. So now everything's good. So if I go here and confirm, well, I can just set my team. I always do it from here. So let me see what I can use. Okay, so I think I'm going with this. Do remember to check the strategies, how you want them, and especially the accessories, because autoplay changes the accessories to what it sees fit to be the best. So you should change them knowing that. So I'm gonna go this. And sorry, like that. It's probably good. I'll talk about accessories in a different video, but this is usually what I use. So this is what I want. Now, do remember that they will be run out if you use them, right? So in this case, well, I guess I don't really care about my main unit because there are other attributes for the other songs. But for example, for these ones, the Kanata, the Cannon, the Nozomi, those ones who are voltage type, they only have one use. I can use a bottle to restore them in the next song that I do. So okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on my phone because I can manually tap, but I'll show you the results. Alright, so I did it. I scored 25 million. Maybe could have gotten a little bit more, but there was an SP pop that I thought I wouldn't get. And right now, so I am actually in the ranking, and right now I am 443 because I only have one of the songs. So we played it. Now I thought that you would be limited beforehand. Oh, it looks like you actually do get some stars from them, which is cool. I thought that you would be limited when this debuted last month to just do it once, but no, you can actually keep doing it as long as you have cards to use, of course. Now, I want to check this, yeah, so there's another free restoration that's coming. As I said, they added 2 now. So for the next one, which is also a jumping heart. Again, this is a release song, so the gimmicks are pretty easy. So if I wanted to get my team going, I'm just gonna use pure attribute stuff. But my appeal ones here are depleted. So what I can do is just use the water bottles, which are finally useful. So for example here, as you can see, I can do this 3 times. So I can select which ones I want. I want these ones, Not this, because I don't need pure attribute. These are just the voltage ones. And it's gonna use 4 bottles. Or it can use gems if you don't have bottles. But yeah, sure, I do want that. And just like that. Now, as I said, it's really unfortunate that they debuted these rankings this late into the game. Like, pretty much they announced them, new feature, then next month, oh, the game's ending in another 2 months. Like, it doesn't really makes too much to me. Why even implement them if you're ending? I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, I think it should have come sooner. Anyway, I'm just gonna play the rest of the songs so that I can reserve when I need, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna show it, I guess, here the screenshot, but I set the wrong U. I was supposed to put the one that's body U, which has appeal plus all, and I put the healer one by mistake. It's not the first time that has happened to me, that I put them and thinking it's the other one, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I got 18 for Azora, so I had the wrong U for the first 2. And for the third one, I actually do use both of them in my team, so I got 18 on each of them, and I am ranking 75. I should have like 60 million, I think. Yeah, 61 million. So the top is 78, which is, you know, quite a lot. We can't see their teams, so, but yeah. Yeah. It's how am I in the friends? Number 3. I can't beat this guy, but well, maybe I could beat this one. I mean, if I wanted to get more. Once again, by checking the ranking, so I want 75, that's top 100. I would get 130. I will likely not stay in 75 or top 100, sorry, but I will very likely be in top 300, which is the same amount of brilliant and stars. The only thing that changes is 1 light bulb here, so not a big deal. Still, like, this is a free LB completely for a new R, I mean. I think, like, a lot of people may not even bother with DLP anymore. Even the last ranking was quite easy. I don't remember what placement I got, but it was also somewhere in top 300, probably in between 100 and 200, I think. So probably there's a lot of people that didn't even bother. So they didn't even bother to complete it, get to here, and then unlock the ranking. So they didn't even participate. There were less players on it. But I think that's pretty much it. That is DLP. So I'll just wait until this is over. As we can see here, it's until the 22nd. Today is 18th. Does it say the same here? Yeah. So at that point, I think this menu will become unavailable and we'll get the reward. So I'll see you there, show you what I ended up with. Alright, it is now the 22nd, and as you can see, we have this again. It says it once until the... well, it's over. Okay, but they allow us to see this. I didn't actually see this last time, so where did I place? 240, okay. So, I guess, yeah, as I told you, top 300. I thought I would be between 100 and 200. Maybe not, but still. The top got 78. That's fine. So the rest of the brights are gone and you can only see the rankings. At least they changed that. I don't remember if they did it last time. And if you go to your present box, you will see your prize. It should be here, right? Radiance, pickets, stars, and your title. The other things are other stuff, so... oh, and pins. There is no screen like the other events, I guess because this was added so late. But well, that's pretty much it. That's DLP, so you get your rewards. I have a lot of unclaimed gifts, so I'll just claim that later, but that's pretty much DLP. It was the regular towers and then, you know, the limited one, and as of the last months of the game, we had this voltage ranking, which can get you some radiance, pretty much, and some stars. So yeah, that's DLP. I guess I don't have too much to say. I think I was gonna say this before, but I lost track of it. I thought DLP, when it first released, was a little bit fun, because you could use your cards that you wouldn't otherwise. But then it just became tedious, because oh, you would be missing so little in a song, so let me just restart it all over again so that I can optimize my units, so that I could do it in less time and I get more progress in. And then when they just ramp up the damage so much, it's so annoying. So yeah, as I said, the fix that already in some of the other towers, but the trial one was really bad. And I did this ages ago. Like, I remember it was Christmas of 2020, I suppose. Yeah, and it was, I think the LP was just running. I think it was a trial, the one that would get restarted. And I remember, like, some of the time after Christmas, like December 26th or 27th, something like that, I was in a nearby town where some family lives, and well, we were not really doing anything, we were just resting. I would be just there playing DLP and trying to optimize that, and I remember that it was annoying. So not the most fun event. Sure, at the end, when these limited ones came, and if you had enough cards, you could just autoplay everything, but still was kind of a hassle just to wait for that. So well, that's it. Okay, there was one final thing that I went ahead and after I had already uploaded this video, I took it down and remade it because I wanted to mention it. There is a badge for DLP actually. As you can see here, you can see there was a bronze, silver and gold medal. It was tracked with how many stages of DLP in between all parades you had cleared. So the gold one was at 100 stages. Early on, this badge having it actually meant quite a lot. It meant that you were good, or that you put in the effort to actually do it. So in a way it could be seen quite of like a respecting, like, oh, this guy has the gold DLP badge. But over time, especially when they introduced the limited parades, it kind of became trivialized and it wasn't relevant anymore, because well, anyone could just make the easy parades over the months and they would get it. But before all that, when we only had like 3 towers and they were like 30 stages at most, like I think the trial tower was the first tower that got up to 50 stages, and then the other ones had only 30. So it meant quite a lot if you saw someone back then. But well, I just wanted to mention that. I think this video ended up being quite long for, you know, a simple topic, but well, it's what it is. I want to share my knowledge of all of this before it shuts down and I forget. So I think that's going to be it. That's everything. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to check the next episode. I'm gonna link it on screen, as well as the playlist. And the video is over.